Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk a little bit about pregnancy and exercise, because it's always a little bit unclear about what you can and can't do, if you should exercise, and a lot of people will find pregnancy and then think, oh, I don't want to put on weight, so I'm going to get into exercise. So I just want to talk a little bit about it from my sort of professional background. So I'm not a specialist in, you know, pre and postnatal, but I have got a fitness qualification in pre and postnatal exercise. That means that I know the adaptations that need to be made to make it more safe to partake in exercise when pregnant. Firstly, I think you need to address reasons why. What you want to do, is it to minimize weight gain? Is it to increase sort of mobility so you have less problems going on? Sort of what's your sort of goal with it? I strongly recommend walking. Is just a fantastic way of keeping fit during pregnancy, and if you get into it, it's something you can continue when the baby comes. To, you know, walk 15, 30, 45, 60 minutes a day will keep you nice and healthy. I'd recommend finding a prenatal, you know, specialist class. Don't just go to any class. Maybe go, they might have some experience, but make sure you tell them the amount of people that you've asked them if they've got injuries or anything you should know about as an instructor, and they don't tell you they're pregnant. It's so important to tell your instructor you're pregnant, because many of them will actually say, I'm really sorry, I can't adapt the class for you, I don't have the knowledge and experience. And that's good. That means they're a good instructor. That means they're not just trying to get you into their class. They can appreciate what pregnancy is and what it does to your body. Pre-pregnancy yoga is a great one to go to. Personally for me, I've gone, but it's a little bit too easy for me, just because I like something a bit faster paced, and I've done a lot of yoga in the past, so I've been sort of doing bits on my own. Not as much though, because my at the start I've been very dizzy, going up and down has been quite hard for me. So that's another thing you need to address, is your symptoms, if it allows it. So sickness, dizziness, lightheadedness, blood pressure, things like that. So it's something to discuss with your midwife, definitely. But make sure you discuss it in depth, because I've found that they don't really acknowledge what I do for a living. Just because I do it for a living, they are like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what you're doing. But I'd like some, you know, professional advice to make sure I'm nice and safe. I had a few issues with my abdominals at the beginning. They are quite tight because I've kept fit, which meant that as he was growing, he's been pushing and I've been getting a lot of pain and ligament pains. So again, that's something else to acknowledge. So I continued teaching like aerial pole and everything, but I would avoid exercises that kind of contracted my rectus abdominis. So the muscles that are down the middle here, I've tried to stop sort of sit-up type exercises and knee raises, so lifting up my knees. I find that that's just been a little bit too much for me to do personally, so that is something to bear in mind. You shouldn't really be doing crunches when you're pregnant. Another sort of movement you shouldn't be doing is twisting, so like twisting back, where it's, you know, it can contribute to quite causing more separation, and as you're growing, you don't really want to have that twisting. I also found out that too much twisting early on can actually affect the placenta coming away from the uterus. So something to, you know, bear in mind. Just be very careful about abdominals. I found for me that in the beginning, it was actually easier for me to be at the gym. I felt like I was more in control than when I was doing aerial and things like that, because the aerial classes do use your core as an assistant in most moves. So going to the gym, I could just concentrate on my arms, concentrate on my legs, and my core would be working whilst I was balancing, doing some free weights, without being a massive sort of strain on my abdominals. So again, you might want to go to the gym and speak to one of the fitness professionals there. Again, check that they have the knowledge. Yeah, check they have the knowledge, because I've heard some, you know, really scary things that have been said to people, and you do want to look after your body. So it's not just about not harming your baby, it's the harm that you could do to your body during pregnancy, which means if you do love fitness, that you're going to struggle to get back to where you were, because you might have sustained, you know, more deep abdominal separation than you should have, things like that. Pilates is a great one, because it really keeps you nice and strong. You can work your core without doing sit-ups again. So if you've seen some of my videos, these are great exercises. So a nice flat back, just lifting up the leg, thinking about engaging the tummy, not pulling it in, but keeping it nice and strong. stretching through. So this is working your glutes, your back, your abdominals, so basically the corset around that's keeping you nice and strong. You can then progress it to add on an arm. This will take away some of the stability, so it will work your core a little bit more deeply. So I plan to do more yoga, pregnancy yoga, as I get bigger. I'm 26 weeks now and I'm getting to the point where my back's getting quite stiff and achy. So that's where yoga really comes into play. So it's really nice for relaxation. It's really good for opening up your hips. One of the movements that you'll do is sort of one of these, which is really good for opening up your pelvis and getting into your lower back and just making sure everything's nice and supple. I really recommend doing some mobility because you will be getting tighter as your weight and your centre of gravity changes, that you want to keep everything nice and mobile. If you're scared about continuing exercise, again, talk to your doctor. If you've been doing exercise before, so for example, if you're a runner, you're normally fine to carry on. Just listen to your warning signs, your body will tell you. One thing that's really important to do is stay hydrated. So lots and lots of water. We use so much more water when pregnant. I remember, especially in the beginning, I was constantly thirsty and I seemed to not be able to drink enough, and I always had signs of dehydration. So that is one thing that I really recommend is water. Body temperature. My first trimester was in the winter, so I was okay with this one, but you need to keep your body temperature nice and regulated. So again, drinking a cold drink rather than sort of a body temperature, room warm one will be a good thing to do. High impact exercise you need to be wary of because there's a hormone called relaxin that comes into your body which will help you with labour, everything kind of stretch out to get the baby out. But this means it can add to joint instability, so it will just make your joints more unstable. So if you're jumping on them, you could result in injury. I've done this a couple of times, not from high impact actually, it was from teaching some of these classes. I'm quite bendy anyway because of my job, but my body was just kind of falling into these positions, but then I was getting pains in my ankles and my joints because they felt overstretched. So that's something to really keep an eye on. It's just overstretching and instability, jumping around high impact. For me, I've found Pilates and walking has been the best thing for me. I tried to do a bit of running, but in the beginning, my boobs were so sore, even with like 2 sports bras on, it just wasn't kind of worth it. It was really, really painful for me. And I was, as I said, having the dizzy spells, which made me think, I don't want to be running a treadmill because I don't want to fall and hurt myself and potentially the baby. I do still teach pole at the moment. I've had to cut down quite a lot. If I wasn't doing pole, I would be in the gym more. I'd be trying to keep my upper back nice and strong to work the upper back, so when the baby comes, I can hold him, but also that my posture just stays a little bit better. So you can already see with me that I'm already lordotic, which means I've got a curved lower spine, but it's getting very, very curvy with the baby as the weight shifts forward. So I'm getting kind of aches here and here. So I'm now going to start adding in some more Pilates to strengthen up my back and my lower back, especially that exercise I've just shown you is absolutely fantastic for that. And yeah, that's sort of my summary about pregnancy and exercise. There's some of the things you should avoid doing. So highlights is the hydration, so important. Watching your kind of blood pressure, so your levels. So yoga's great, but you might need to slow it down instead of going really fast up and down. Just the changes of level might send you a bit dizzy. So just be aware of that. But if you tell your instructor and they're happy for you to be in the class, just tell them you're going to take it slow at your own pace. That's my biggest bit of advice. Just communicate with your fitness instructor and your midwife and your doctor, and they'll advise you on that. Abdominal work, sit-ups, no, don't do sit-ups whatsoever. You can do nice like Pilates exercises. So you might want to have a ball behind your back or a cushion, and you can just come back to this sort of position here and then come back up. So although it seems like it's a sit-up, but it's not, because it's just keeping everything nice and controlled and then coming back in. You don't want to be rounding your back because that's going to add to posture issues as well. I think that is about it. So watch joint stability, flexibility, keep flexible, but don't overstretch. Again, your body will tell you, mine's told me all along. And watch, lower abdominals. I tore one of my, had a tear in my muscle in the beginning from doing an abdominal exercise without realising how intense it was. So just bear that in mind. Your centre of gravity is going to change, your weight's going to change. I've actually put a lot of weight on my lower body as well, so everything's heavier anyway. So that is that. I am going to film some more pregnancy friendly workouts in the next few weeks. Lots of bodyweight ones, some yoga ones, some Pilates ones, so you can come follow me along, and hopefully that's a little bit of information. So yes, it's good to exercise. It's proven that it helps with labour, with a healthy baby weight. They say statistically people that exercise through pregnancy have shorter labours as well, so that's, you know, something to be kind of aiming towards, but obviously they can't guarantee that. I know very fit people that have had long labours, so it is just kind of pick of it, but it will kind of help you feel more energised. I know I get really, really tired and I hate the thought of going for a walk, but as soon as I've gone for a walk I feel so much better. So that's something to bear in mind. Also support, so I'm going to be doing a review on this because I've been getting back pain. I've just brought the Belly Bandit pregnancy support, which has got quite a thicker band here, which helps keep the bump lifted a little bit, and it's got room for me to grow as I get bigger as well, and it's proving quite good. So I'm going to do a full review on that in the next sort of couple of weeks. I feel like I need to get a little bit bigger to give it a full review, but it feels quite nice so far. It just feels like it adds a little bit of a lift and just takes a little bit of pressure off my back. So that's something you might want to look into, is pregnancy fitness wear that's got it built in. So I've got some Vitamama stuff. I'll put a link in the description with that, which has all their tops have got support for sort of bump and boobs, and then their trousers go over your bump as well, and they support it. So that will help you with exercise as well. You do need good support for these girls because they will change shape and size, and at the beginning, as we all know, they're quite painful. Luckily that's gone for me now, but it was very, very painful, and exercise was the last thing I wanted to do because of that. But I hope that's been helpful. It's a bit brief, but you do need to talk to medical professionals if you are worried about exercise. But walking, prenatal Pilates, prenatal yoga, some nice gentle weights, body weight exercise. There's so much you can find on YouTube. Again, try and look for YouTube people that are qualified, because they need to know what they need to do. Someone that's been pregnant and exercised isn't a professional. That's what I'd say. Just keep healthy and safe. And yeah, any questions, pop a comment below. Make sure you subscribe because there's loads more pregnancy stuff coming up, especially fitness and health related. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.